All right, now, let's get to the supposed hard decisions. Well, I've got a pair of bonds that look the same, that's all. Now let's get to the hard decisions which supposedly being made inside the budget. But as I pointed out before, Kristy, the hard decision is that Australia needs to find more revenue to match its spending, or it needs to cut its spending. Either way, it creates a political firestorm. I would have used another term at another time, but we all know what that would smell like, right? 36.6% is welfare, right? Compared to 6% that is the defence budget, and so on, as we've seen before here. So I just say all this because we're about to go through this theatre for the next few weeks about all the tough decisions they're making in the budget. Well, unless they're actually dealing with the structural problem of the budget that has us in deficit for the next 40 years, it's all just noise.
Well, here's another hard decision for the Department of Defence, and this is little known, but last year the Senate Foreign Affairs and Defence and Trade Legislative Committee launched an inquiry, and that was an inquiry into the Defence Department's capability to support Australia's defence program. Now, that report of that inquiry was supposed to be released the last sitting day, 28th of March last week. It's been extended to the 24th of November. Surprise, surprise. We know that there's been tensions between the Defence Minister and the top brass of the Defence Force. They don't need this report coming out, which the government assumedly would shape to say the Defence Department can't support the capability to provide an evidence base for cutting further spending in defence, so they don't have to cut welfare spending, and so they don't have to stop promising people things that really are doing nothing to lift productivity and efficiency of the economy.
Yeah, it's this thing, Nicolle, where, again, because we have created, put frankly, we've created a scenario where wherever government draws a line, there is somebody who is the victim or the loser on the other side of the line, automatically seized upon by an opposition and amplified by media, which means you don't end up doing anything, yet we play this nonsense where we're going to pretend that, oh, we're making tough decisions right now. They're not doing them at all. They're just working out how to spending kind of last year's money in kind of a different way.
Absolutely, Paul. And look, the scale of spending by the Albanese Labor government is just extraordinary. I mean, what was it? The $1 billion to build solar panels here last week that they had to fly up on their private jets to the Hunter Valley, I think it was, to make the announcement. The colossal spending on renewables, on the transmission lines, you know, NDIS, look, everywhere you look, Labor is spending money. So I will be most interested to see where they think they are actually going to save some money. And Kristy was just picking up on the cuts that Richard Marles seems to be laying the groundwork for in defence. Across the board, this Albanese Labor government is looking more and more like the terrible, failed Rudd-Gillard-Rudd governments, and defence is yet another area. Because in the last year of the Rudd-Gillard-Rudd disaster, they cut $1.9 billion from defence, and they got defence spending overall to the lowest level since 1938. So, you know, you cannot trust Labor on national security.